In a remote village, there lived a man named Cameron, whose son Arash had died in a horrific accident. Cameron, whose heart was filled with grief and despair, could not come to terms with his son's death. Every day, he would go to the cemetery and talk to Arash, while his tears fell on the cold soil of his son. One night, while Cameron was walking in the forest near the village, he accidentally came across an old and abandoned place. In the middle of this place, there was a large black stone with strange markings on it. A voice, a frightening voice, came to his ears from inside the stone. "Why are you here?" Looked at the stone with fear and surprise and said, "I am looking for my son. He is dead and I cannot live without him." An evil voice from inside the stone said, "If you want to bring your son back to life, you must make a pact with me. The price of this life will be your soul." Cameron was afraid at first, but the grief of losing his son made him think about the devil's offer. He remembered all the moments he had spent with Arash and decided to do anything to bring him back. He said in a trembling voice, "I make this pact." Satan said with a devilish laugh, "Then be ready. Tomorrow night, in this very place, your son will come back to life. But don't forget that your soul will belong to me." Cameron returned home with a heart full of fear. He could not believe that he might see his son again, but at the same time, the fear of the consequences of his pact tormented him. The next night, Cameron went to the place where he had met the devil, and there, he saw Arash slowly emerging from the darkness. His son was alive, but his face had changed strangely. He was no longer the happy and energetic boy Cameron remembered. Instead, his eyes looked empty and cold. Arash said to his father, "Father, what happened? How long have I been asleep?" Cameron said with tears in his eyes, "I brought you back, my son, but the price of this life is my soul." Arash looked at his father in fear and said, "Father, I don't want to lose you. What good is this life to me if I can't see my father?" Felt trapped by the devil, he quickly realized that bringing his son back at the cost of his life had been the wrong decision. In an attempt to save himself and his son, he told Arash, "We have to get out of here. I can't lose you." But at that moment, the devil came out of the darkness and said in his terrifying voice, "You cannot escape this pact. Your soul belongs to me, and your son must pay the price." Cameron tried with all his might to save Arash, but the evil spirits attacked them. At the last moment, Cameron decided to stand against the devil with all his might. He shouted, "I will never give up. I will fight for my son." This shout, a strong light emanated from Cameron, and he attacked the devil with all his might. At this moment, Arash joined his father, and together they pushed the devil back. The evil spirits disappeared, and the devil returned to the darkness with his angry screams. Cameron and Arash fell into each other's arms and felt that the heavy burden of the devil's covenant had been lifted from their shoulders. They understood that true love and sacrifice can defeat any darkness. From that day on, Cameron and Arash lived together and never accepted that there was no value in risking their lives. As a testament to the power of love and sacrifice, they told their story to others so that no one would fall into the devil's trap.